Hey, welcome back everybody for some more playoff Nemesis action with our third match of the night. We are headed to the Rival League where we got Hydra and Whiteout going off against each other here. The almost undefeated team, and this is the only team to take them out here merely.
Yeah, so they're actually the only ones that got the better of them so far. Also, apologies. Normally, I would have a face cam, but you get to see my true self up there. My webcam decided to stop working approximately 5 minutes before the match. So we're struggling now here, but it's all good. We're going to get some good action. And this one, the 1 versus 8, but like you said, they have beat them before. There might be a little bit of upset potential over here.
Yeah, we do get to see the luxury of what is that? Tennis mouse,
Yes.
tennis ball mouse there. But yeah, Whiteout surprisingly, the only team to get the better of Hydra, like you mentioned, 17-1 record, and Biscuit on Hydra, always known for those outstanding records, previously did get an undefeated season in season 2 or 3. Is it season 3?
Season 3. Yes, they also won season 2, but the undefeated season
Back to
was season
back.
3. Yeah, back to back as well.
One of the few teams to do that, but
The only team
other than
so
that,
far
I think the Melons did they not?
not undefeated,
Oh well, that's fair.
but back to back. Yes, we did have the melons.
Yeah, this will be I believe the first. Well, actually, you know what? I don't want to second guess myself. Kirpus, let's take us to the rival league bracket here, see what's going on across the rival league here. As we do have two rival league matches going on tonight. We got Hydra and Whiteout, which of course is this series, and a rival going off against Knights. Blaze, the only team to make it through so far. That is due to the unfortunate situation where a forfeit was taken, but we'll have to see how the cards fall tonight, merely between Hydra and Whiteout and a rival and Knights.
Yeah, and two big matchups with different potentials. Hydra Whiteout, obviously, probably we'd expect to be a close series. It's kind of hard to determine beforehand, as like we've already talked about. Whiteout actually swept Hydra before, and Hydra's only loss of the season. However, at the same time, Whiteout only at 10-8, whilst Hydra at 17-1. I mean, they've looked mostly invincible other than this matchup. Also down there, we do have a rival at 8-10 going up against the Knights. They will play the winner of this matchup, or I should say the winner of that one plays the winner of this. Blaze, the only confirmed team in the semifinals so far, waiting on the Pineapples Distortion matchup there. So still a lot left to be determined, and as we've already seen with the playoffs, anything can happen. The nerves add a lot. The stakes are different, and I wouldn't expect to see some shenanigans here in the playoff bracket.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of shenanigans, it truly is a shame we didn't get to see Ray in playoff form, as that is always truly a spectacle to watch. But
Indeed.
the forfeit was taken. But back to this series, Hydra versus Whiteout here. We always have the veterans on the side of Hydra with Mayo and Tashega. Mayo and Tashega have been around the league the past few seasons, but Biscuit been around since its inception, always making some deep playoff runs. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got Larry and Pharaoh, along with, I believe, Quick Snail is going to be their third. And Pharaoh been around for a decent amount of time, along with Larry as well, the past few seasons. But I mean, I think I know which way you're leaning here, merely. But who do you think has the edge in this matchup?
Well, it's just so hard to root against this Hydra roster. I mean, like you said, you've got Tashega, you've got Mayo, both top tier players have been playing in Rival League for a while now. I believe Tashega's even Titan MMR, and Seabiscuit has a solid third. However, if there is a team that can take them down, I would put the Whiteout squad up to the task. Larry, Pharaoh, best rival sub-ins for Titan. They've got some experience. I still think Hydra takes it, but I think it'll go the distance, probably 7 games.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Maybe in a 4-2 fashion, but hard to factor in what exactly happened in that one series where Whiteout was able to take them down, and also, like you said, the 10-8 record from Whiteout a bit concerning, and something that is going to be concerning is this shot. But Pharaoh able to get away at the last second there to send it away. But yeah, the 10-8 record, a little bit of a question mark as to why they ended up falling that far, had to find their way in through the play-in tournament. And, you know, was it a bad day from Hydra, or is this Whiteout team just super inconsistent and is able to peak at times?
You know, I think it might be a combination of both. Whiteout, you know, historically, like we've already said, they beat the Hydras, but they've lost some series where you really feel like they should have won. That's a few shots already barraging, and you will be able to tell immediately the offense is not the problem for Whiteout. Sometimes they do get a little bit suspicious in the defensive half, prone to overcommitting, like a lot of these teams. And if they can avoid that, they shouldn't have any trouble finding these goals on Hydra's other side. The key to victory just going to be avoiding the Hydra counterattacks for the most part.
Definitely Hydra with the mechanics of Mayo and Tashega. Biscuit, not really known for the mechanics, but is able to pull out a double tap every now and then, as Hydra has looked somewhat uncomfortable here on the defensive side of things. A shot coming in to the right side, but just off the post. And this is now 3-4 times that Hydra has not had a defensive player on the backboard and just getting barraged by shots by Whiteout. And then the passing play coming out, Biscuit able to get a 50 off the ceiling, but quickly back on the opposite side is Hydra only able to muster up one shot here, and Whiteout have 4 recorded, now 5, but might even be 1 or 2 more not registered. As Larry will try and clear this out to the middle, straight into the hands of Mayo. Pharaoh with the pre-jump to Shega, looking for an aerial bump to disrupt that defensive play, as Biscuit on the transition, over to Tashega, back to Biscuit, who puts the shot on, but quickly sent away by Pharaoh, as Larry had to take Biscuit out of his way to even find contact on that ball. He's getting bumped off the offense now. And Pharaoh back to the middle, but so far merely, I think Whiteout might have a puncher's chance in this series. They're looking pretty good. There could be a slow start from Hydra.
I think it might be even more than that. We did say these teams are evenly matched, and Hydra with only really one real opportunity so far in the first half of this game, while Whiteout has just been over and over taking shots on net. Here comes another one. Actually will be missed, but the follow-up almost good. And like you said, Hydra looking a little bit uncomfortable. Hard for them to break out of their half. And right now it is Whiteout controlling the pace of this game 1.
And finally, able to get backboard presence is Hydra, but not for long. Will Whiteout be able to withstand the pressure, as Biscuit gonna slot this one?
And they might not have the majority of pressure, but they now certainly have the majority of goals. They will go 1 up, and it's a bit of a question mark how it is only a 1-goal game with the amount of pressure we see on either side. That Whiteout defense not really up to par, not able to deal with that, and the free shot placed very well there by Seabiscuit. You know, he might not be all that mechanical, but he doesn't miss shots very often, and usually with quite a bit of power as well. One of the reasons why he has been such a menace in both the Challenger and Rival League for so long.
Yeah, and not too shabby on the passing plays either. Haven't really worked out thus far in game 1. But as a mistouch coming out from Mayo Pharaoh, he's got to put this through. And again, the accuracy plaguing this Whiteout team, as a follow-up missed as well. And just a minute ago, Larry had an open net and wasn't able to find the shot accuracy right there, as Mayo with the soft touch looking for the double, does find the accuracy, but still dangerous. But sent away by the Whiteout defender. Back to the middle. Tashego going to get beat out. Larry with a quick hit, and they will find it finally. After 9 shots, they will put one through. And it almost feels like maybe even 12, 13 shots at this point, nearly.
Well, we're only at 9, but it feels like it could be up there, not counted by the scoreboard. You know, I got a little bit concerned for Whiteout when the net was completely open, and it looked like he went for a flip reset double touch instead of just hanging it in. I can respect a man going for style points, but when your accuracy is lacking a bit, you kind of just want to put in anything you can. Definitely impressive mechanics from the Whiteout roster, but right now it's their speed giving them the real advantage.
Yeah, and still continuing to make this Hydra team look uncomfortable on the defensive side of things, although once they transition to offense, they look more than capable as Tashega. Perhaps looking to fake that one out for Biscuit, but didn't look like he had enough boost to shoot or pass. And Mayo had a really good double tap opportunity on the previous drive, and great defense from Whiteout to put that one to rest. As the final seconds rolling down, Final chance could go to Hydra, but a big clear comes out into the corner. Mayo, the soft touch, gonna chase it out, but Quicksnail pumps into his own teammate, but Larry rushes in his third man, gets a lucky double off the corner, and almost an own goal into the top right, or top left, excuse me, and, you know, got overtime game one here.
And right now, pretty evenly matched so far. Whiteout seems like they have really good pressure, just getting a little bit antsy for these goals at times, as Larry almost had an opportunity, not enough boost to convert it. They are looking scary when they get on offense. It's just holding off against these Hydra counterattacks, and whenever they start to get pressure, Whiteout does look a bit uncomfortable. But with that said, Quicksnail coming through off the ceiling. That one actually going to go past. Biscuit gets the doink, and it will be cleared out for now, but still just so many opportunities for Whiteout that they're not able to capitalize on.
Yeah, and again, another backboard misplay coming out from Hydra, and not quite sure if it's just mechanical misinputs or just lack of confidence, or truly Whiteout is putting the ball in some uncomfortable spots for them, but they're just whiffing time and time again off the backboard, or they're not there. 2 players on the backboard here, at least they were there, although still giving up some ball possession due to that double commit. Nail to the middle, Biscuit with the shot. Pharaoh not really in the most optimal position. Well, able to flip across the net, get that save. Mayo, ballsy third man challenge, and still one more to boot. Net could be open here to the middle. Larry gonna cut this off. That's Teshega off the ceiling. And Biscuit with the slow play, but Larry gonna pounce all over this one, and still with a quick redirect to boot. Mayo in a bad spot. Ends up getting faked out from Larry, but unable to find contact on that one. And I don't know. I mean, this is, again, this could be the question from the previous series merely. Is Hydra playing not up to par? Is this one off the backboard with the follow and slips past Teshega? And, you know, I'll have to save that question for another few seconds.
And, you know, I'm just not really sure where the third man for Hydra was there. It looked like I couldn't even see Biscuit on my screen. I'm not sure if he went for a boost steal or something, but you have to be ready for those clears. And, you know, in this game one, Hydra just didn't really look prepared to deal with the backboard. I mean, Whiteout was pounding it over and over again every single time. They didn't perform up to the accuracy quite a few times, but eventually, if you let them get that many opportunities, they're going to send one home, and that's what happens. Whiteout in the overtime takes the win, and looking good. You know, at this point, Hydra gotta be having a little bit of flashbacks to getting swept by them, I'm sure. You've already lost in spectacular fashion as team once. It's crucial for Hydra to try to regain this momentum as soon as possible.
Absolutely agree there, especially, like I was saying, it felt like Whiteout even got more shots than were actually registered. Felt like a lot of just missed shots or off the bars that just didn't end up counting as shots, but even just on every offensive drive, a double commit was forced out of Hydra, or just some players not in position off the backboard. Just did not look comfortable for them. The offense did look like some promising chances every now and then. The Mayo double tap came out. There was a really good slot from Biscuit that resulted in that first goal. But, I mean, other than that, they just got to create more chances and be more aggressive and confident on the defensive side. And I think that's kind of what I was going to allude to, is this time the accuracy going to plague Mayo. Not able to find the crossbar, down in a huge 50. Going to roll back, but Mayo able to get there in time. But, I don't know, it just looks like maybe a nerves factor, although I find it hard that these players would be experiencing nerves given their experience merely. But, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see at the end of this game too, but Hydra just not looking as potent as they normally would.
You know, it doesn't really seem like it's nerves. I mean, Hydra, for the most part, once they get on offense, they look so comfortable. It's just dealing with some of these defensive rotations as Pharaoh. It's a crucial block off. Almost a goal for Hydra. And Hydra, like you said, they have been getting more aggressive. You said defensively, but that has definitely translated into the offensive half. They already have quite a few shots early on, already sitting at 6 shots as compared to Whiteout. Bit of a script flipped as another one coming through, but Biscuit shoots it just too high, and the accuracy, this time it's Hydra's problem in game 2.
I mean, but this is good to see as Mayo with the redirect, but saved again from Snail. He's gotten quite a few good saves just in these 2 short games, although a big whiff will result in an open net for Tashega, and he's not going to miss that. And I don't know, this might be unprecedented merely. We've had 9 shots in a minute and 50 seconds just about for the Hydra roster.
Yeah, Hydra realized that they were getting stuck on defense and were conceding because of it, so they just said, well, let's not have to play defense. Let's just keep the ball in their half 24/7. And so far, this is working out fantastically. I mean, a critical error there from Pharaoh, just completely missing the ball. But after so much time of the opposition living in your half, eventually something will break. As Whiteout trying to get a few passing plays of their own. Nothing connects yet. The ball sent to the other side.
And straight into the hands of Larry, it was sent an early shot from Mayo, but, got up at double digits even before halftime. And, not to say when I was saying Hydra was playing bad that Whiteout is not playing well. They are playing well. So definitely on the back foot as far as game 2 is concerned. They were extremely aggressive in game 1, but just the accuracy, and really got to look at Larry as he came up with a lot of those shots. And the one that kind of came back to me was that one open net where you said he was kind of trying to clip, and I mean, he just had everything he needed in front of him and chose not to use it. It's the Shega off the backboard and past it. Pharaoh. Larry with a bit of a fake as the Hydra roster in shambles in the midfield, not able to get a handle on it. Finally, Tashega able to pound this one off the backboard, gets a demo to boot net. Someone opened Snail on the retreat, but Tashega couldn't find the read. And they are up to 13 shots already merely. Most teams, especially in playoffs, are struggling to even get past 5. And I mean, Hydra, they've turned it on, but still, the Whiteout team, they're coming up with 10 saves of their own just about. And they're going to have to do a little bit more.
Yeah, something light. 9 saves, 13 shots for Hydra. They have a little bit of the pressure, I suppose you could say, but really it just feels like Whiteout is losing every single micro battle going on. Now they're finally starting to get a little bit more pressure, and actually Pharaoh will be able to, once they break out of their half, they look fantastic, and it looks like they have found a way to break through.
And again, kind of not really a backboard misplay, but rather 2 players on the back wall. Even the third man there, they're all clustered in that corner, and it's going to be hard to read the opponent, let alone read each other on where your positioning is. A big mistake coming out from them with just over a minute left. And continuing to look uncomfortable on the defensive side. Once Whiteout finally get on offense, a big clear comes out. Pharaoh, he's up early. Almost ended up missing it, but was able to touch it off the ceiling. Biscuit with the pass to Tashega to the right side, but couldn't find its mark. Mayo trying to secure the follow-up, but not able to get there. But again, Biscuit able to show that he's got the passing game, and still Tashega with a double tap. It just is raining upon this Whiteout net, but they're standing strong.
And somehow they're still holding on, partially due to their great defense in this game too, and partially due to a little bit of inaccuracy by Hydra. I really like the plays they're getting, and a miss on defense. I mean, Whiteout has had so few opportunities to go in their opponent's half, but barely a handful, and they're still taking the lead.
Yeah, that's just a big whiff off the sidewall from, who was this? I mean, Mayo. I don't know if he was trying to get a soft touch and dribble it up the sidewall or what the deal was, but when you get dominated game 2 and you're putting up this much offense and you can't secure the win, as one more Biscuit tried to fly in and get it, but a huge insurance goal with 30 seconds left.
I mean, this is unprecedented. Hydra, let me do some quick math because the numbers are so high. They got 16 shots with 1 goal to show for it, and it still wasn't enough. Whiteout ends up beating them. Well, assuming now, I think it's a little bit beyond the point of no return. They haven't been able to break through that quickly. And Whiteout taking the advantage with 2 goals. I mean, they've just made the better of their opportunities. And Hydra looking so threatening on offense. Whiteout basically scrambling to every save, but they still pull off the saves that they need to. And they will be able to go up 2-0 in the series.
And Hydra, they did one half of the battle. They were where they needed to be, but they did not find the accuracy. And there was just so many plays that were saved from Whiteout. Again, Whiteout is playing extremely well at this point. A lot of big saves came out. A double tap from Mayo, a double tap from Tashega that was put to rest by the Whiteout defense. But there were some other opportunities where Biscuit, he got a pass off to either Tashega or Mayo, and they just couldn't find the accuracy, or were just trying to get that pin perfect placement. But a lot of times, you just, even when a team is playing this much defense, you just got to force one more great save, because eventually they might rust and give it up. As I was going to say here, merely, I think this would be a good time to take a timeout after these unfortunate 2 games, and they have.
Indeed, they have. And, you know, something I hadn't really thought about, Whiteout's defense looking solid. And the only time that Hydra was able to score, actually, wasn't even off an outplay of their own. It was off of that miss from Pharaoh, where he really should have gone at least a touch. But Tashega was able to take a completely free goal. And, I mean, I don't know exactly how that bodes. Hydra was 16 shots and not really seeing any of them be converted. But Hydra needs to switch something up here. They were winning the battle for the boost. They had Whiteout almost completely starved. They were panicking so hard. That's why I said it looked like Hydra was winning the war in their own half, but Whiteout somehow hung on. So I don't, that might be on Hydra to take out more players. But either way, Hydra has to have a backup plan here, because clearly this all-out offense is not going to hold up. They have to be prepared to defend as effectively as they are holding through on offense.
I mean, I was just about to mention, because they do have to find another solution if the wideout defense is going to continue to be as stellar as it has been. And I just try and get more physical, try and go for some bump plays. I haven't really seen that many. I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 demos from even either team at this point so far in the series. And I think that might be one way, because not only if they can control the boost, why not take another player out as well to try and disrupt the rotation even more? But, I mean, at the end of the day, that was a game that they probably should have won. And even in game 1, where Whiteout was putting up that many shots and you end up losing the overtime, I mean, these are just 2 extremely hard losses for this Hydra team. And if they're going to come back in this series, they got to do it now, because given the circumstances, if they lose another tough one, I would be very hard-pressed to find a 3-0 comeback at this point.
I don't know. I'll have to look at my own history books. I know RLCS lands have never had a best of 7 reverse sweep. I don't know. We've probably had a best of 7 reverse sweep somewhere, right?
We have, actually. Biscuit's team got reverse swept.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no. He reverse swept Mafiosos, I believe.
Ah, all right.
Back in season...
Pineapples.
Pineapples. Whoops.
What was it, pineapples? We have been in...
I just assume it was.
So we have seen it happen before. I'm not saying they're not in that position just yet. And really, it feels like, you know, Mayo is someone that I am looking to absolutely try and turn things around. As here, okay, Tashega has a free opportunity. The slow shot will be able to pop through. And I was talking about Mayo, but Tashega, he'll get another one for the board. And this is a good sign for Hydra.
Sorry to bring up hard times for those in chat. There's a few Mafioso players in there, as I did mess up the teams there. But yes, a good shot from Tashega. The slow roller to the right side, but even then, it looked like the communication was a bit off-kilter from them. It didn't look like Tashega quite had the read, and Mayo was quickly behind him, and nobody really knew who was going. Even more confusion coming out as Mayo with the back pass, but still... Whiteout player not able to capitalize on it just yet. Tashega straight into Larry, who was lurking in the defensive third. Quick save coming out. Pharaoh perhaps looking for the pancake, but a little too far away from the backboard to secure shot opportunity. As this ball loitering in the midfield, giving Tashega enough time to get back to it. And a demo, this is what I'm talking about, get more physical. Mayo there for the shot, and this is a 2-0 lead for them, the first in the series.
And, I mean, this is just a complete reversal. Last game, 16 shots, 1 goal. This time, 2 shots, 2 goals. And if you just remove the defense, then your life's going to be a lot easier. Also easier if you just clean beat them to the ball. Mayo getting the best of the defense there, and they will score another. Well, they're on the back foot early on in the defensive plays here. Hydra breathing some life into their offense.
More demos coming out. Maybe they had the old Morse code working, figuring something out. Maybe they need the old Bagel's advice as the demos are raining. It's starting to become a house of ash on the side of Whiteout. And if they can get a few more demos, just continue to make this Whiteout team uncomfortable as they get one of their own. And an unfortunate spawn off of Mayo's head is going to allow Larry to get there. But Mayo still, he will not. I mean, that may be one of the most unfortunate spawns in the history of Nemesis, but a huge dunk from Larry.
And Larry, I don't know why he was still flying towards us. The man could see the future. Like you said, the most unfortunate spawn you could possibly get, pinching it up perfectly. And Larry, he just had a vision, and he would not be convinced off of it, bringing Whiteout within one when it looked like there was no possible way for them to score there.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't get some Ray shenanigans, I do believe we can get some Larry shenanigans in the Rival League playoffs. And that being said, Whiteout will have to make it another round further if we would like to see more, assuming some more crazy stuff from Larry doesn't come out here. But Tashega with the slot, we'll put it top shelf. I would have liked him to even put it to the backside, but still, this is very promising from Hydra with the accuracy. 3 for 3.
And Whiteout not able to hang it as well with this pressure from Hydra. The defense there very close to getting the save, but the shot is just a little bit too good, and you can see it there from Tashega. Does not want to go down quietly. Hydra making a statement in game 3 here.
Continuing to be more aggressive, although Tashega pulling off a little bit there. Going to give Larry a chance on this ball. Biscuit with the early challenge. Tashega with the leave. Going to allow Mayo to get in as he's hunting even more bumps. Continuing to harass this Whiteout defense. Is Larry. Save off to the side. Quick snail. Not really enough boost to follow, but Larry going to cut him off actually. Forcing a double commit on his own team. Biscuit taking it slow. Snail will counter that play out. Is Larry going to collect the mid? But going to completely leave the ball, but will quick turn. And Pharaoh wasn't really quite ready for that. As Larry continuing to cut off his teammates and still more shots coming out from this Hydra roster. Finally, they lose their 100% shooting, as it was bound to happen either way, but they will take just anything at this point. Is a huge save from Biscuit coming out as Whiteout are starting to get desperate, sending 2 players on defense and offense as a Rule 1 was just broken.
And if Hydra was looking for a way to lose the game, might be breaking that Rule 1. You do not want to anger the Rocket League gods when you're barely up 2. With that said, Hydra looks like they're in solid control of this game. Whiteout, I mean, it's kind of been an issue throughout the series. It hasn't affected them so much so far, but I have noticed small miscommunications from them, confusion on who's going for the ball, too much patience when they really need to just be sending someone to challenge. Hydra is starting to exploit that. You can see it here as they've scored more goals than they have in the entire rest of the series in this game, and now looking much more alert. It is Hydra with the game to lose.
One more passing play comes out, but Biscuit still stalwart on the defense. That is now 4 saves for him and 2 huge ones to block out Pharaoh. And that shot right there, and all the more important as the seconds are starting to count down. But one more pass play to Larry. Not able to find the shot on it. It's going to have to be something here. The Snail does steal the boost, but Mayo burning the time off the clock. Pharaoh to the middle, but another huge 50 will put this game 3 to rest. Maybe one more for the road for Snail. And he will find it. I thought that would be 0 seconds, but there is 1 more second on the clock.
And have we ever seen a goal with 1 second? I don't think I've seen that before. But we might have a little bit of hope here for Whiteout, trying to hold on to their series advantage, making it a clean 3-0. They actually
wait.
wait. What? So I think Whiteout.
1 second on the clock, right?
Time management may not be a strength of this roster, as they seem to have not realized how quickly a second evaporates. I think going for a delay there is a proper strategy. I don't know about completely faking it, but it was unlikely that they would win the game off that either way. So we will be heading to game 4, where Hydra finally coming back a little bit. Whiteout now reduced to only a 2-1 lead.
The offensive equivalent to taking a knee while you're on offense in football. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe he thought the cheat up would be a little bit quicker, but man, that 1 second went by real quick. But kind of surprised from Whiteout actually to maybe not even take the timeout after that 1 game loss. Maybe try and reverse the momentum before Hydra maybe tie it up in this game to equalize the series at 2-2. But either way, Whiteout did actually end up beating Hydra in the shot department there. But either way, great bounce back from Hydra after losing a disastrous game 1 in that overtime and almost putting up 20 shots in game 2 and not able to find the victory. Great way to bounce back from them, but still, it was just the defense from Hydra. The biscuit saves on the goal line, and still just the midfield plays coming out as Teshega will find another crossbar down. And I think every time Hydra scored first, they have won, which has only been the last game. So, you know, I mean, we saw this at the LAN merely. They pulled up the statistics. It was like 12-1, 15-1, 18-1. Everybody that scores first when it matters most does more often than not end up taking the dub.
And you have to wonder, I have to say, I think that one of the smartest things Galaxy did in the grand finals of last season against my own team, the Pineapples, other than just clearly being the better team on the day, but one thing that really washed our chances away was the fact that they went up two games, we got a game back, and before we could even try to carry any of that momentum forward, they called a timeout, completely killing our momentum, resolved their game plan, and came back and just won the next 2 games. I think that using that timeout, it's a very valuable tool, somewhat underrated, and they might regret not using it, as clearly Hydra had just been able to carry this momentum forward, already getting 1 goal in quick succession, and Whiteout looks like their problems that they've had from the previous game are mostly unresolved.
And it's hard to really say what their problems are. I mean, both these teams, it just looks like they're slightly uncoordinated with each other. The individual skill, no doubt, is prime, as mechanics from Whiteout and Hydra both on display. A lot of double taps, a lot of just great passing plays coming out, but just the miscommunication, the presence between the 3 of them on the field for both these rosters seems to be the issue. And just looks like Hydra is getting the better of that, looking a little bit more coordinated. But yeah, I mean, the timeout, even if it doesn't inherently help you, even if you're not really talking strategy, like this is what we need to do, boys, if anything else, it might just be a stall tactic to try and burn the momentum from the other team, as Biscuit will charge in after a double commit on the defensive side. Again, the coordination for Whiteout, not there.
And that's really just a better touch you need there, even perhaps a faster challenge. I don't know if it was really possible, but you can't give that much space to the Hydra players. Their offense has looked so solid. And it seems like Whiteout, once again, looking very good on the offensive half of things. Once they're pushed back into defense, miscommunications abound. Their antsiness, which seems to work sometimes on offense, although sometimes it does lead to double commits as well, leaves them open on the latter half. And even though the net isn't completely open, Hydra has a lot of space to work with. They have time to set up these plays that they want to set up, and they are getting free realm. Whereas Whiteout will get another chance here, and Larry off the post does manage to bring it within 1.
Mayo gets a solid first touch, but trying to get back to it and just could not find the accuracy. Biscuit not ready for that, and honestly, kind of we'll call it a calculated slot off the post. I didn't really quite think that was going in, but it does find the mark there for Larry, who does have 5 shots. Definitely the offensive powerhouse for this Whiteout roster. LaFaro back to the middle, trying to get another dunk out of Larry. We saw that crazy one in the last game. Not able to find it there, as Whiteout might be able to try and swing their way back into this one. Jega back to the middle, trying to find Pharaoh again on the outlet pass. This time Whiteout trying to get their physical presence brought into the field. And previously, like you said, Whiteout has been giving Hydra a lot of space, and they're giving them space to go for more bump plays. Even Biscuit right there trying to hunt another player down. He's still chasing him. This is going to allow Teshega to get back to it, finding a dunk to boot. Mayo with the shot, trying to put it behind Pharaoh, but not quite fast enough. Giving Pharaoh enough time to react to the pressure, as Teshega was about to start an air dribble before he was deleted off the map. And, you know, Whiteout, they're not really getting a lot of offensive demos, but they're just getting a lot of midfield demos, defensive demos to disrupt this Hydra offense, although still able to get some pressure here. Merely, they got 1 more minute left. I think they need 1 more standout play, and this could be it. Oh.
Heartbreaking for Whiteout there. The flick was so close. It was a beauty, but just barely off target. And, I mean, Whiteout, they've been holding Hydra at bay, even getting a lot of offense on their own, but when it really matters, they're not getting the critical touches, the critical challenges, and double commits like these. I mean, Larry continues the air dribble. It's confusing for the defense, no doubt, but it's really not going to be an effective play, especially when both players are using all of their boost and aren't able to continue the play or sometimes get back on defense fast enough. Hydra, with 20 seconds to go, still has a huge advantage.
Hideout almost got a huge bump attempt off. Snail had a really fast shot, and even though the bump came out, the demo did not. That was the last big opportunity from them as Hydra looking to put this game 4 to rest. And another whiff, which might seal the deal. Pharaoh backwards over to Snail. Have to be a quick transition. Larry off the backboard. Snail there for the shot, but a double commit happens. Larry's still there, but he will get landed on by, I believe, Biscuit. But again, if that double commit doesn't come out, who knows? Maybe he might be able to sneak it in there. But just, I mean, like we were saying, the only weaknesses of these two rosters is really the positioning, the double commits. And we saw that on display here from the Whiteout roster. Snail, 86 points, just not able to get involved as he was getting hounded by both of his teammates, primarily Larry, just not able to get him involved in the play, as I think he was starting to feel a bit tentative on the offense and defensive side because Larry was just, I mean, he was all over the field for both good and bad. I mean, 432 points, 6 shots, 2 saves, but I mean, Biscuit's defense, somehow Mayo ended up getting 4 saves and Tashega 2 saves as well, but Biscuit has just had such stellar defense in this series. They're going to have to be more coordinated with the bump plays, and I haven't even seen Whiteout really pass maybe more than once a game. They tried that game, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, and something that I was going to point out as well that you said, I mean, Quick Snail here with 86 points. Points can be telling of individual performances, and I think he has looked a bit lost at times on this field, but I don't entirely think that's all his fault. It seems like Larry in particular, like you mentioned, kind of zooming around at 1,000,000 miles per hour, trying to be involved in every single play, and it's creating a lot of confusion. Sometimes the confusion is good, but for a team like Hydra, which is really good at staying solid and evaluating the threat of different plays, it's not going to be as effective, and I think it's doing more damage than it is doing good for this Whiteout roster, especially losing the last 2 games. Perhaps Hydra kind of a little bit lost on defense in the first 2, but now that they've figured things out, Whiteout has to try to figure out some more creative ways to break past this offense. I really think it comes down to being more patient. They're rushing a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots, and due to that, a lot of the times, they got, I want to say, 8 or 9 shots in that match, but none of them were too threatening. The best one seemed to be at the end of that game where they almost got the 0 seconds. Other than that, they're just kind of tossing the ball to Hydra, and when Hydra's defense is this good, you're going to have to work harder than they are to try and get that ball in the back of their net.
Yeah, and, using a little bit of that patience to take the timeout, perhaps to maybe stall out this Hydra roster, perhaps maybe rediscuss their strategy, try and get Snail more involved, maybe try and have Larry a bit more passive. But either way, I mean, Game 1, Game 2 was a 1-goal affair. And granted, Game 3, they did get 1 goal at 0 seconds, so still technically a 1-goal victory there for Hydra. But the main important thing for Hydra is that they've just been, it's as simple to say as they've just been scoring more and more goals as Larry looking for a double tap. Won't be able to find Pharaoh with a quick follow-up, but still the defense from Hydra has been so good in this series. But Game 3, Game 4 merely, I mean, ultimately they just were able to put up more and more insurance goals, and it's a lot harder to come back from a 2-goal deficit than a 1-goal, and I think that's really just what plagued Whiteout. They're just giving up too many opportunities, and finally, Hydra is starting to capitalize off of them, as there's one more coming out from the passing play.
And, well, you reverse casters cursed it into existence as a nice shot from Biscuit on a disorganized Whiteout roster, and they just haven't had the effectiveness to deal with these same plays. Both players kind of flat-footed on the goal line. Whiteout in shambles now, and even though they took that timeout, Seems like Hydra so far is really keeping this momentum flowing as they get another one. It's Biscuit again, and you just can't give them these free shots. This one is off the kickoff, so a little bit of leniency there. But once again, Hydra just pressuring.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, Snail, previous games he's been uninvolved because lack of rotation due to his teammates, but that one, that's just on him right there off the kickoff, unfortunately. He's just got to get back to net quicker or do a half turn to maybe get a challenge out because nobody was going for that ball, and Biscuit just said, okay, I'm going to charge in here and slot it on the right side, and one more huge shot from Mayo, up 3-0, and the timeout buff is not apparent here in game number 5.
Yeah, maybe a reverse timeout buff. Hydra said, you know what? We kind of like that. We'll take a little bit of time. We're playing well. We're going to continue to play well. Meanwhile, Whiteout, I mean, I've hardly had enough of a chance to see if they've really changed anything. They had that early double touch opportunity for Larry where he just barely missed. And that's definitely got to be coming back to haunt him now. Is this one just going to fly in again? Seabiscuit with the hat trick.
Can't tell if the ace combat came out. I'm not sure if the bump was made here off of Snail. Nope, it was just a fake, a dirty fake. And Snail, I'm not even sure if he was going to be able to find it if the redirect was made. And a huge, huge presence from Hydra here in game number 5. A statement game. Plenty of time for Whiteout to maybe mount some sort of comeback, but 4-0 going to be a tall task indeed. And again, the shooting accuracy for Hydra has been absolutely stellar since that 1 for 16 performance. They're sitting at 4 for 4 right now, but ultimately, Whiteout just needs to win these kickoffs merely. They've lost 3 kickoffs in a row and have been scored on shortly after. I mean, they got the first goal as finally Whiteout off of the backboard. That has been one more weakness from Hydra than that backboard presence, and on display there.
And I really felt like a position where Tashega should have already been on the backboard, but like you said, this has been one of Hydra's weaknesses. Whiteout perhaps forgetting that a tiny bit. Hopefully now, for their sake, they will remember that early on in the series, they were just pounding the ball off the backboard, and Hydra didn't really seem to have a good answer for it. They will find one goal here, but still a daunting task in front of them, still down 3 goals.
Yeah, and again, losing the kickoff, almost giving up another one shortly after it. And they just gotta lose it directly back, right, back, left, or just outright win it. Although here's a careening ball down, but nobody there for the follow-up. But Demo comes out. Larry hunting some more players in net as Pharaoh gets a good 50 Snail on the turn, but not enough boost to jump up quickly for that. Will collect his own corner as Larry looking for a clear out. Will find it. Tashego off the ceiling. Snail gets a good 50. Is Pharaoh opting to let Tashega dribble this. Let him give up possession on the ball. As he will take to a dribble of his own, perhaps. Looking for a pass to the middle, but then ended up getting bumped off the play. Looked like he had a solid dribble opportunity as one more Whiteout overcommit, almost proving to be deadly. As a quick passing play out will get them out of defense. And Larry, more battle into the corner as Whiteout are starting to get desperate, and it's only if they still have 2 minutes left merely, but they're just flinging themselves at the ball trying to make something out of nothing and haven't really gotten punished for it yet. But I don't know. I mean, I don't particularly blame them because Hydra is starting to play extremely consistent at this point.
And in all honesty, to me, it doesn't look too much different than early, well, how they've been playing all series, maybe amplified a bit by the fact that they are down now 3 goals. But one of my main criticisms of Whiteout has been that they're pushing too hard for these goals. They're not playing patiently. They're playing like they just need a goal now and they'll do anything to get it. But you have to be aware of what's going to happen if you don't score. You have to be aware to get back to your own half. Without a real backup plan, I mean, Whiteout creates threatening shots, but Hydra's defense has been equal to a lot of them, only letting in 1 goal now. With Whiteout having 6 opportunities, this might be another one here, but Tashega will send it clear once again, and they just look unbreakable now. Tashega going for the finish, can't quite find it, and Larry barely gets the clear out, but Hydra is most definitely awake, and all 3 heads of the monster are coming through.
Almost a huge counterattack. They absolutely needed that to get back in this game, but I'll have to check and see who this was on the shot again. I couldn't quite see. But it looked like it was either Snail or Pharaoh's. That one just sneaks past Larry. And another huge insurance goal with a minute left. Another 4-goal lead for Hydra. but they missed it off the top right. Snail missed another top shelf shot just a moment ago. And unfortunately, when you give up that many goals off the kickoffs, you gotta hit one of those at some point. As Hydra is locked in, they will get 3 in a row here at this point, and I don't know, no timeout buffs left, although that didn't seem to work for them here, as Hydra just absolute monsters here. Indeed, the 3-headed monster on display. All 4 players getting involved, primarily Biscuit with 4 goals, 6 shots. Mayo and Tashega with an assist, almost able to find one more there, but I mean, I don't know, merely it's so hard to battle this debilitating momentum here for Whiteout. I mean, they look great on offense. They're even going for more bumps than I even anticipated them to go to, but Hydra has been privy to them as they're looking for the buzzer beater, and they will find it as a dominating game comes to a close. But I mean, what do you think Whiteout needs to do here? Is it just the double commits, the offensive pressure? I don't even know. It's just Hydra has finally started to get locked in here for me.
It seems to be a combination of all that. I don't think Whiteout is even playing necessarily that poorly. The thing is, this is when it gets real scary, because when Seabiscuit becomes the majority goal scorer, that really means usually that that the team chemistry is working. I don't mean that as in he's not the type of guy who can't normally slot shots, but when he is getting those opportunities and his team is able to set him up to points where all he has to do is slam in the finishing shot. I mean, that's what he does best a lot of the time. He's a great third man and he's a great defender, but he can also take those shots, and you can tell everything is working for Hydra right now. They are getting all of the pressure. They are dealing with Whiteout effectively, and as far as what Whiteout can even do, it seems like they haven't really tried to change up their game plan at all since they were up 2-0 in the series, which feels like it was so long ago. They've gone a little bit more physical at times, but not really for any extended periods. But they are getting outclassed in almost every way right now. They have to try to regain not only control of the midfield, but take control of the boost so that Mayo and Tashega cannot just walk all over them with these challenges. Try to get those demos in the backfield and open up some space. But with that said, we are heading to Forbidden Temple, so there's a Forbidden Temple buff applied. We'll have to see which team it favors.
As I double from Pharaoh, and it just might favor the way of Whiteout, who have suffered these past few games. But a huge start, as you know what? They finally won a kickoff, and good things happen when you win the kickoff.
Indeed they do, and almost the perfect start. I believe Pharaoh even got bumped a little bit off that one, but managed to recover and get back for the double touch. A great start in game number 6, but they will have to hold on even further if they want a chance here. Hydra, no doubt, will not be put to sleep so easily. Plenty of Rocket League in this one left to be played.
You know, going back to that, all-important stat of scoring first, Whiteout did not score first in the past 3 games. We will have to see if that stat rings true here. If Whiteout can force a Game 7, bring us to Champions Field. On the counter, though, is Hydra, the outlet pass play, as Mayo going to be on the retreat. Larry with a quick giveaway of the ball. Perhaps it would have been better faking that out for Pharaoh or even taking to a dribble. But again, Larry, he's so concerned with going for these mechanical plays, these quick hits off the sidewall, trying to get his aerial prowess on display merely. And I think he just, we've said it a few times before, but he just might need to bring it back to the basics, even take to a dribble, get a pass play like here over to Pharaoh, utilize his teammates, and get them involved.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a very clear opportunity there that we all just saw. The ball was rolling out in the middle of the midfield with no Hydra defenders even close to it. A huge opportunity to, like you said, take a dribble. Even placing that shot in the far corner might not have been a bad option. But going for another high-risk, high reward as well, but another high-risk play just doesn't seem like it's worked out. Even in the games where they're winning, have to focus on the basics and have those down before you're going for these highlight plays. Maybe feeling more comfortable with the one-goal advantage, but from what we've seen in the latter half of this series, a one-goal advantage against Hydra is not something that you should feel comfortable holding.
Indeed, as Snail up in the midfield. Net actually going to be open. 2 players rolling back for Tashega. Couldn't quite get it as Snail It ended up missing a shot on the previous drive, but able to put it below Mayo, who, you know, I mean, I don't know. You just shouldn't be jumping. Simple as that.
Yeah, that wasn't really a position where he was ever going to get the better, and it wasn't a real threatening shot either. Obviously, there it was to Shega, I believe, who wasn't able to get back in time at that point. The ball was past no return, but if there was someone in net earlier, I mean, that was very simple to clear out. Now Hydra going down 2, and Whiteout maybe returning a little bit to their form, trying to push us to this game 7.
And the offense starting to show out. Not quite the crazy shot totals they were getting in that first game, but 5 shots is respectable heading into halftime. And Hydra sitting at a meager, not even meager, just absolutely debilitating 0 shots and one more. Wait a second. He may have just saved that. I'm not sure if the final defender was going to get back in time, but either way, maybe a bump play was in order there as Larry looking for one more highlight reel. Not able to get it through, but either way, a bit of confusion on the goal line, but does end up working out to Hydra's favor as a chase for the one more counterattack goal from Biscuit. He's 50ing it on the goal line, and the penultimate third man has been an absolute monster on offense in this series.
And Biscuit continuing to pop off, bringing his team back within reach. I mean, once I saw that go up, there's a really good chance that you're scoring there. Biscuit knew it, Larry knew it on the goal line, but couldn't quite get the touch. And we will see the scoreline brought within 1. It's going back to these same issues. Whiteout, they've gotten much better looks, and Hydra has looked vulnerable this game, but I'm still a little bit concerned for that Whiteout future. As, once again, I'm not sure if that save was going... Oh my goodness, another close call on the Whiteout defense, but they managed to send it away. And like I was saying, that opportunity where it might have been a scoreable situation, it really felt like Whiteout had the entire advantage, and then either Larry or Pharaoh, they just completely cleared the ball away. Felt like a very suspect play, and another one of these symptoms, I'll say it again, of them just looking a little bit impatient on offense, not able to wait for good opportunities or try to create them. With that said, though, Larry coming out of the net will be able to add a third one for Whiteout.
I think it may have been going in either way, but, you know, the goal secure, the goal steal, we'll never know. But it did look like that one was passed to Shega at that point. But Whiteout have certainly stepped it up here in this important game here, as this was match point for Hydra. Solid 2-goal lead. No 2-goal lead has been overcome this far in this series. And Whiteout, huge insurance goals to boot with a minute left. Although Mayo on the dribble will get bumped off the play from Larry. Double commit was forced, though, as Biscuit with the top shelf shot. And one more double commit, but Larry looking to disrupt any offense that Hydra might have in the final minute. Shot through, but straight over to the Pharaoh Snail with the redirect. Not really the most productive hit coming out from him, but still continuing the pressure. As Pharaoh up early with the slot, and again the backboard weaknesses starting to come out. A lot of double commits on this backboard for Hydra, and not in position here due to them. As Tashega awkward on the goal line. Pharaoh with a quick dribble, quick pivot. Not able to get anything productive, but ultimately all they need to do is continue to burn this clock if they want to reach Champions Field in Game 7 to keep their playoff hopes alive. Snail off to the side, looking for Pharaoh, but he was on the rotation back. As Tashega ends up balling out Biscuit, and this is the final opportunity, and it will go via Whiteout's way in a huge game from them, and merely going to Game 7. Is merely alive.
And I am extremely excited to see what Game 7 has in store for us. This has been so back and forth. It seems like either offense can pop off at either time. And, you know, watching Larry play has actually reminded me of a quote. As Quick Snail will get another one here. But watching Larry play reminds me of a Spider-Man moment. With great power comes great responsibility. You know, the man is so fast. He can get to almost anywhere on the pitch so quickly that when he's on, I mean, he dusts everyone. He can create opportunities for his team. But that all relies on him being in the right positions. You can see it here. He finally is getting more goals, more saves, 2 goals to his name, 2 saves, and shots as well. But he has to keep that up through. It really feels like he is the key for this Whiteout to dealing with Hydra. He made them look uncomfortable on defense. He made them look vulnerable. And if he can keep that up, I think that they can take this game 7, but it also relies on Hydra not absolutely popping off the other direction.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I was lagging or what was going on at the end of the game, but glad to hear your voice again. The transition wasn't as clean, but no, it definitely comes down to Larry. It's whether or not he can be passive enough to allow his teammates in, or if he's not playing passive enough, he needs to be able to hit those peak shots that he is going for, the double taps, the flip resets, and Pharaoh as well. Pharaoh is extremely mechanical, and a lot of passing plays have been off to him. And Snail, I mean, really, all three players, it comes down to all three of them. Snail needs to get involved as well. See, we'll put up an opening shot here. And, I will come up with a different Spider-Man quote, assuming they do get the backboard clear. I'm going to paraphrase it. Not going to do the Macho Man Randy Savage impression, but instead of 3 minutes, they got them for 5 minutes on a cage match here on Champions Field. Does Whiteout. And they have Hydra on the back foot, but quickly a mistake coming out from Whiteout will give Hydra the opening goal. And every team that has scored first has won.
And it's on Whiteout now to break the trend. Just more miscommunication on defense, leaving a wide open net. The shot is good from Hydra. They are not going to miss those. And Whiteout has to be solid on defense. They have to remember who they're playing. As I say that, another completely open net. Biscuit will be happy to add to his point totals, getting his second goal of the game in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's just so tough off of a bad kickoff. But again, you win the kickoff, good things happen. But Pharaoh just needed to leave that ball, rotate back. Nothing's going to come out of going for a ball awkward off the kickoff. And, despite, granted, they had a lot of time left merely, but I'm going to make a bit of a pun here. Whiteout does not appear to have the ice here in Champions Field.
Yeah, they really don't so far, but the ice really comes in the later half of the series, as Hydra's defense is the one caught sleeping now. And wait, is this Champions Field or is this Forbidden Temple?
I don't know. I mean, we did see some crazy things on Forbidden Temple, but Biscuit didn't look like he had enough boost to get to that ball. But either way, again, the weakness I think a demo did come out, but the weakness for Hydra has really been this backboard presence. If Whiteout can get the rotation in order, win these kickoffs, and put that weakness to their advantage, good things could come here. Although more mistakes coming out. Biscuit off the backward. He's going to fake it out for Tashega, who will slot it to the left side. And a huge fake, intentional or not, will give them another insurance goal.
No, I know you're proud to see that one. Biscuit with the fake. And 3 players in net, but none of them even came close to saving that one. Credit to Tashega where it is due. Great placement on the finishing shot. Not a great look for Whiteout, and now they are down 2 once again. They have to try to battle back quickly.
Yeah, and again, the team that has scored first has not lost, and the team that has secured a 2-goal lead has not lost. So both stats in favor of Hydra here, but still Whiteout almost 4 minutes left and still have looked plenty of deadly, plenty of extremely capable offensive drives, but one more infield pass. Mayo with the rapid reset, looking to get back to it. Maybe offshoot the pass as well, but Biscuit and Tashega back on the defense. That's a bit of an awkward play coming out from Biscuit. And Mayo, again, on the backboard, but not looking comfortable. These woes continue to trouble them. Snail with the shot, and he showed up big here. He's missed a few in the previous games, but an absolute heater.
And Snail has been critical for this Whiteout team in their comeback, even bringing us to Game 7. He's really showed up when the team needs him most, and he showed up again, bringing them within 1 goal now. A lot more doable for Whiteout, but they still have to hold on, and even more so, they have to push even further, trying to regain some of their Game 6 magic.
Snail has looked so good in this Game 7. He's got 2 goals, 2 for 4, approaching 400 points. Pharaoh and Larry need to get involved here if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Down by 1 now. Larry, an opportunity with the double off the side. But Mayo, again, they just look so uncomfortable off of the back wall. Luckily, they're able to get a big 50 to go through. And where is the defense for Whiteout off of the transition?
And Whiteout, once again, just baited into a play where they really shouldn't be. That was a nice pinch out by Hydra, turning an uncomfortable situation into an advantage from themselves. But really, Whiteout should have been ready for that ball to be sent to the other half, sending one player and keeping the other one so close by, not going to work out effectively. Now they're back in the same rut that they have found themselves 3 times already now in this series. They have to try to battle back once again.
I mean, it's just, it was an unfortunate pinch, but again, if they're noticing the same thing I have, or they've looked so uncomfortable in this series, but Mayo off of the corner, a huge read. Again, the defense not present, but still the wherewithal to hit this shot.
And the pendulum has officially swung. Mayo going for the corner double touch. A beautiful finish. No one in net even expecting a shot on target. Now a 3-goal advantage, and they are looking to build even further.
Well, missing the kickoff and another huge shot from Larry. And it is, I guess I didn't lie when I made the Spider-Man reference, but this is a cage match and both offenses on display.
And you can tell the blows are being traded. Neither team coming away unscathed, but Hydra, the one with still more mobility in their limbs, as they have not been knocked down as far as Whiteout. Still, Whiteout not unconscious yet. They're going to try to regain. Still 2 minutes. Plenty of time to score 2 goals. But they will have to put a stop to these shots, and Biscuit will not let it happen. He is absolutely continuing to pop off, and he is putting in another one for Hydra.
Goodness. Indeed, the double bump coming out from Mayo. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw this man at land. I didn't. I saw some pictures, but this man's got some guns, and you don't want to get in his way as he comes up big, giving Hydra, again, a 3-goal lead. Net almost open to Shega. Not able to find the accuracy there, but still Whiteout on the attack, trying to press it in the midfield. Snail up. He's looked extremely deadly here in this Game 7. Looking for the flip reset. If he had 10 more boost, might have been able to find it. Larry, the soft roller on the net, straight into Mayo's hands. A Snail looking to continue the pressure, but a big whiff here. Just might have to forfeit this offensive drive as Larry gets in the way. It gets demoed, leaving the ball for Biscuit, but a huge save from Snail. Where's the follow-up? Mayo, he goes up. Tashega all the way back in the midfield, but honestly, playing patient might not be a bad strategy. 3 goals. We know these Whiteout counterattacks can be deadly. One more shot, forcing the double commit. Bill, transition. Larry looking for a bump, but a demo onto the Whiteout third man was made, and they got 1 more minute, and the net is open merely, and it just might be a Tashega with the redirect, the 4-goal lead with just over a minute left.
And that might just be the dagger. Whiteout has tried so hard to battle back, but every time they think they have a shot, Tashega, Mayo, or Biscuit, this time Tashega, there to put their dreams to rest. And 1 minute left. They need a miracle here. I'm not sure it's doable, though, against a Hydra squad that is playing this well.
And they gotta win the kickoffs. Again, losing it does somewhat work out into their favors. They're shortly gaining possession. Infield pass to Pharaoh. Good 50 off to the side, but Biscuit there on the backboard, finding the clearance. Leaving the ball for Mayo, but Mayo gonna let Larry give the ball away. Does get demoed for his efforts, though. About demos being traded. Tashega to the middle. Larry gonna put it into his own corner, collecting his boost. Looking for the pass, maybe the pinch over to Pharaoh. Was find it, but straight into the Biscuit. Tashega is lurking on the sidewall for some reason, and the ball is coming to him, but not able to find contact. 30 seconds, the clock ticking down. They got to get something going here. It is a huge 50 Snail there. He gets goomba'd by his own teammate, and any hope that was left for this Whiteout roster has just been put to rest.
And that's about all, folks. Hydra, they looked shaky in Game 6. Whiteout was able to bring it to a 7th, but once they made it here, it was convincing all the way through. There is no doubt that this is the 17-1 Hydra that you've all been waiting to see in playoffs. They are here to announce their presence, and they will be moving on to the semifinals. A brilliant performance, and really quite a back-and-forth game between two teams with a lot of history, but Hydra are the ones who come out on top.
Yeah, and I mean, despite any inconsistencies that Whiteout may have had in the season to result in the 10-8 record, I mean, they did not look like the 8 seed. They were putting Hydra in some extremely uncomfortable spots. Even the fact that they brought this team to Game 7, granted, for whatever reason, they did sweep them to disrupt that undefeated record earlier on in the season. But Whiteout, they looked so good, but it really just came down to the middle of the series. I mean, they stole Games 1 and 2. They stole that Game 1 overtime. They stole Game 2 where Hydra almost put up 20 shots. And, they could only steal so many games for so long until Hydra started to wake up. And I mean, oh my goodness. I'm not even going to read off all these stats for this game number 7. There's just so many to count. but really it came down to the captain, the penultimate third man in Biscuit, who just led his team to victory. Not to be said that Mayo and Tashego didn't come up with some huge plays as well, but Biscuit, he just stepped up when it mattered most, got the infield passes, got the shots, got the bumps. I mean, it was everything, but ultimately it was just they had the ice.
Yeah, not much more can be said. It really felt like in that game 7, Whiteout lost the advantage early on with a couple of unfortunate kickoff maneuvers, and they just never really regained it. Try as they might, they did fight back. They looked like they were still in it for a good majority, but it really just came down to those couple of big mistakes that lost it for them early on, and Hydra continuing to build on the confidence from that point forward just took hold of the series and decided that they wanted to run away with it. But a good job by both teams. Thank you for our first Game 7 of the night after a 4-0 and a 4-2. Not too terrible of lineups so far. But either way, a good performance. Tough to see Whiteout go out this way. I was really enjoying watching them play the whole season. They had a good run. They did get a bit unlucky going up against the number 1 seed, but they really brought it to them, and they were so close to pulling it out. A great effort from both teams, obviously. And speaking of great efforts, I guess probably no time to go over the bracket prediction. We're already pretty late here. We should probably get moving on to the next one pretty soon here.
Yeah, I was looking at the time as well. That being said, congratulations to Hydra winning an absolutely cage match of a series, going back and forth. Blows were being traded, but Hydra coming out on top. The statement game there in game number 7 on Champions Field. We are headed to a break here in a second. And coming up shortly, we do have another Rival League matchup going on. We have a rival going off against Knights. The winner of that matchup will play Hydra in semifinal number 1. We will catch you guys after the break. Don't want to miss it.